A few months ago, I became Galar's Electric-type gym leader and said this. Pokemon has gone back to the decades-long tradition of having an Electric-type specialist in every region. If you look closely, you'll notice that there are only 8 trainers there. And that's because I said that Johto shouldn't count. Now that naturally made some folks upset, and I promised that if the video did well, I'd issue a formal apology. And let's just say the video did kinda well. But before I apologized, I needed to see if the Johto region was worthy of my respect. Could it truly stand on its own outside of Kanto's shadow? To find out, I sent Ethan halfway across the world to Paldea to see how he'd fare as a protagonist of Pokémon Scarlet and Violet. We started by naming our character Ethan and making him look as close to his Johto roots as possible. We then set off on our journey, which we don't have the footage of because someone may have forgotten to hit the start recording button. It's okay, I can fix this. We wake up, get ready for school, then go meet our classmate and neighbor Nimona. We pick this adorable Paldean Totodile as our starter and catch a Hoppip on the Poké Path. We then see these Houndour ganging up on this orange dragon, but the dragon steals our lunch, goes Super Saiyan, and drags us away from the Houndour before we can try to catch one. This moody kid is waiting outside the lab near our house, tell me if this sounds familiar, and in his haste to get away he drops his wallet, I mean the orange dragon's Pokeball. So we have this Koraidon with us now. We then catch these really muddy Wooper and Azurill outside of Los Platos before meeting up with Nimona at the Messagoza Gate, and hey, look who finally started recording. Nimona challenged us to a battle, and it was a fun time until she decided to cheat by giving her Palmy a little bit of extra juice, but it was nothing Wooper couldn't handle. After defeating her, we made our way through the city to our new school, and stopped to quiet down these Team Star kids along the way. Afterwards, Nimona gave us a Terra Orb as a welcome gift, and we settled into life at Naranja Academy. The next few weeks were filled with boring school life, but we did meet that moody kid from the lab. Turns out his name's Arvin, and he's actually kinda alright. And we also met Professor Sada, a researcher down in the Great Crater of Paldea. Then one day, the principal announced an independent study project, where we would get to go on our own journey across the Paldea region. And the second that assembly ended, we grabbed our bag, hopped on our Dragon Cycle, and began our real adventure. Nimona told us there's a Pokemon gym in a town west of Messagoza, and we immediately headed for Cortondo since we know a thing or two about earning gym badges. On our way to Cortondo, we came across a Mareep and Sunkern and added them to our team. Once we arrived, the gym's trainers were no match for Totodile, but the olive we had to roll was a different story. After getting the gym staff to fix their course and passing the gym test, we faced off against the first Paldean gym leader, Katie. Totodile continued to breeze through the swarm of bugs in front of him, so we decided to give the rest of the team a chance to have some fun. But Katie's 10 years ahead of their plans.
I'm about to end this man's whole career. Boom, bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
After healing our team, we marched right back to the battle arena and simply let Totodile cook. Gym badge number 17 secured. After a quick pit stop to get a slightly more Ethan-like outfit, we went back to the Poké Path and finally caught one of those Houndour we wanted to catch earlier. We then made our way east to the next gym in Artazon, trading our team along the way. Mareep evolved into Flaffy, and Totodile evolved into wait, hold on, let me fix this real quick. Croconaw. After taking a break to play with us in Flora, we took on the Artazon gym where we employed our tried and true strategy. Let Croconaw cook. We easily defeated Brashus and earned the Artazon gym badge, and Azurill was so excited for his teammate's victory, he evolved into Meryl. Arvin then called us asking for our help investigating a giant Pokemon nearby, and seeing as he gave us the Pokemon we're getting around on, helping him out's the least we could do. Meryl took down the giant rock crab easily, and Arvin thanked us with a sandwich, which our orange dragon immediately stole. Hey, at least it can go faster now. We then continued our journey westward and caught a Phanpy along the way. With so many great Johto Pokemon to choose from, we decided to put Croconaw in reserve. Meryl was very quickly becoming the star of our team anyways. As we approached the city of Cascarafa, we got a call from an anonymous source telling us that we could infiltrate a nearby Team Star base. Even without a proper disguise, we jumped at the opportunity to partake in a Johtonian pastime. We easily cleared through the base's grunts, but nothing could have prepared me for what their admin had in store. Now, Team Rocket may have tried controlling and cloning legendary Pokemon to varying degrees of success, but they at least always use actual Pokemon in battle. Team Star, meanwhile, took a car, strapped 3 Pokemon to it, threw 1 or 2 more inside for good measure, and sent that behemoth out in battle against any intruders. Yakumo, this base's admin, ran over my team with his car and sent me packing. Team Rocket could learn a thing or two from these kids. After recovering at a nearby Pokemon Center, we got a call from Arvin about another giant Pokemon. So we climbed up this giant Plinko board, and Flaffy let loose on the giant stork that awaited us at the top. Meryl evolved into a Azumarill, our dragon learned how to swim, and we returned to the Team Star base, where our now stronger team was able to take Yakumo's car down. Now that we knew we could handle a Starmobile, we traveled back east to take on another one of Team Star's squads. And along the way, Wooper evolved into "You are not a Quagsire." We then caught a Dunsparce and a Murkrow, much to the dismay of world champs everywhere, and Azumarill took on another Starmobile and handled it easily. We then headed north to Levincia to take on the gym there, but Nemona popped in and challenged us to a battle first. Vampy and Murkrow dealt with her team easily enough, and we headed to the gym for a collab stream with the gym leader. Now, I may not be the most entertaining streamer, but Iona was no match for our team's battling prowess, and we quickly earned the Levincia gym badge. Arvin then called us about another giant Pokemon running around, and the giant steel earthworm with an immunity to ground moves could have been a real headache for our team.
You can't defeat me.
No, I know. But he can.
Once Azumarill took down Earthworm, shout out huge power and the random rain that occurred, Vampy evolved into Donphan, and our mobility Pokemon learned how to jump, but like, higher. We then made our way back out west to Cascarafa, where this kind woman gave us a little reminder of home. After a quick detour to teach the gym leader Kofu some introductory microeconomics, we made our way to the battlefield, where we very quickly found ourselves being the ones schooled. With Kofu being a water type specialist, you might think Flaffy just spammed Terra Electric Thundershocks and we got an easy win. His Volt and Veluza had other ideas. It was time for Azumarill to come in and save the day, but Kofu's Wugtrio proved too elusive and avoided all of his play roughs before taking him out. Clodsire and his Water Absorb ability were the last trick up our sleeve, and while he did get a layer of Toxic Spikes down, he barely managed to stay on the field long enough to see Wugtrio go down to Sandstorm damage. Kofu had only 1 Pokemon left, and none of our 3 Pokemon in the back particularly looked forward to facing it. Dunsparce and Murkrow both went down, but they bought enough time for the Poison and Sandstorm's damage to rack up. Donphan was our last hope, and he would surely drop to a single Crab Hammer, if he wasn't faster and able to land an attack first, which he did. We somehow snatched the Cascarafa gym badge from the jaws of defeat, and we're now halfway through Paldea's gyms. With that last gym battle being a bit too close for comfort, we decided to shift gears and infiltrate the Team Star base hidden in the sludge. Their admin Atticus may have been a bit of a character, but his Starmobile was no joke and quickly wiped our team. We clearly needed some upgrades, so we caught Larvitar and Girafarig and evolved Flaffy into Ampharos. A better game plan and a much stronger Donphan took down Atticus' team in the rematch, and we were ready to head to the next gym. On our way to Medali, we added a Sneasel to the team, and Larvitar and Girafarig, but wait, Girafarig evolved? Weighed down by a heavy meal, Larry didn't seem like he'd pose much of a challenge, and while Pupitar couldn't quite hold his own, Azumarill and Donphan secured us our Medali gym badge in a comfortable victory. However, Nemona then joined us at Ask to Battle, and with the chairwoman of the Pokemon League watching, she showed us the true power of a champion-ranked trainer. Down to just her Meowscarada against our full team of 6 Pokemon, Nemona proceeded to spam Terra Grass flower tricks and sweep with her starter as all of the best Pokemon players do. Luckily, Nemona and Gita don't seem to care that we lost. Gita even gifted us with the TM as a thanks for an entertaining battle, and the champions directed us to the town of Montenevera for our next gym battle. Azumarill and Donphan were clearly frustrated after that loss to Nemona, and let's just say the battle against Rhyme was a cathartic experience for them. With another gym badge in hand, we set our sights on Alfornada in the southwest of Paldea, the site of the next gym. As we cut through the Asado Desert, we received another call from Arvin, and came across what has to be the most majestic beast I've ever laid my eyes upon. But there was no chance we were passing up the opportunity to add this lumbering behemoth to the team. With Great Tusk on board, and our dragon finally able to spread his wings, you could say our little pit stop wasn't all for nada.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Once we reached Alfornada, Nemona showed up for another battle. This time Azumarill made sure Meowscarada's magic show was shut down before it could get started. With our honor restored and our confidence soaring, we took on the gym leader Tulip, and with our entire team chipping in, we secured a comfortable victory against her psychic types. We celebrated with a quick ski vacation on Glaciato Mountain, before taking on the 8th and final Paldean gym. As the final obstacle before the Pokemon League, Grusha was no pushover, and Azumarill and Donphan could only carry us so far. If we wanted to take down Grusha's Altaria, the rest of the team was going to have to come through. Ampharos went first, paralyzing Altaria with Thunder Wave, then doing a healthy amount of damage with a Power Gem before fainting. Farigiraf was up next, and it fired off a powerful Twin Beam that did minimal damage before it too fell. Pupitar then came in and landed a huge Stone Edge, which brought Altaria's health low enough for Sneasel to secure the knockout with a Metal Claw. It was another gym battle too close for comfort, but hey, a gym badge is a gym badge, and we've now got 24 of them. Despite earning all of our Paldean gym badges, we knew our team still needed some major upgrades if we were going to take on the Pokemon League. We ventured out to Casafoya Lake and caught a Scyther, then flew out to Levincia to buy a metal coat for it. We then substituted Scyther and our old friend Houndour in for Farigiraf and Sneasel, before sending the team away for some special training. We hadn't infiltrated an evil team base in a while, so we made our way down the north face of Glaciato Mountain, where Azumarill and our newly evolved Scizor took down the Star Admin Ortega. Arvin then gave us a call about a giant dragon in Casafoya Lake, so Ampharos made quick work of the Titan Tatsugiri and its Dondozo. Professor Sada then gave us a call asking Arvin and I to check on things at her lab, but with our dragon friend now able to climb, we first took on the rough and rugged terrain of northeastern Paldea to clear out one last Team Star base. We beat the base's grunts easily enough, but there's a reason their admin was rumored to be the strongest in all of Team Star. Her team of fighting types was already impressive, but they all paled in comparison to her Starmobile. With a stupid 408 total HP and the ability Stamina, our physical attackers simply weren't able to do enough damage to it before going down themselves, especially after having to fend off the rest of Ares' team first. After trying out different strategies and falling to that Starmobile every time, it was clear our training was not yet complete. We set out on a quest to master this final Team Star challenge, searching the far corners of Paldea for a way to get through Ares' team. The team was getting stronger, but we still didn't have a clear-cut strategy to secure the win. Just when it seemed like overleveling was our only solution, I realized the answer was sitting in our bag this entire time. Our Terra Orb. For those of you who may not know, the type of Pokemon will terrestrialize into in battle is set the moment you first beat it, and will always match one of the Pokemon's two original types. When we caught our Scizor, it had the Flying Terra type, because it was a bug-flying Scyther at the time. And when we lost to Nemona in Medali, Gita gave us the TM for Terra Blast, a move that matches the user's Terra type when it's terrestrialized. I think y'all can see where this is going. We returned to Ares' base with a winning game plan, and it played out exactly how we drew it up. Great Tusk took care of Toxicroak easily. And then it was, and I mean this quite literally, Scizor's time to shine. Her change to a pure flying type meant she comfortably ate Passimia's close combat before emphatically returning serve. Nihilife's Ice Punch gave us a bit of a scare, but Scizor hit back hard with another Terra Blast before calmly picking up the knockout with a Bullet Punch. She then fell against Lucario, but the work she put in meant that Azumarill could come in at full health and pick up the knockouts on both Lucario and the Starmobile, earning us a hard-fought victory. Now that all of Team Star's bases were shut down, our anonymous source who helped us along the way revealed themselves to be Cassiopeia, who invited us to battle them for the right to disband Team Star. Since Red got all the glory in taking down Team Rocket's boss back home, we accepted her challenge and promptly flew back to school for our battle. The principal, who'd been sneakily tagging along the entire time, decided he should be the one to battle Cassiopeia and tried to stop us by force. Not only was his team no match for ours, but he also blatantly broke his own rules by battling us in front of the school, so we ratted him out to our math teacher and headed up to the schoolyard. Feeling a bit confident after Scizor's performance against Eri, we got a bit greedy with our sword stances and were immediately punished for it. We returned with a clearer mind and defeated Cassiopeia's team of Evolutions, which was both the end of Team Star and the last bit of experience Pupitar needed to evolve. We finally made our way back to the Poké Path and met with Arvin at the lab, and Professor Sada asked us to embark on an expedition into the Great Crater of Paldean. Arvin was a bit hesitant, but after we defeated him in a battle, he seemed more confident in our ability to fend off any dangerous Pokemon we might come across. He set off to recruit some folks for our adventure, and while he pulled the team together, we headed to the Pokemon League headquarters to take care of some unfinished business. After a quick screening interview, we found ourselves facing a familiar challenge, defeating 4 of the region's strongest trainers for the right to battle a champion. In our first battle, Azumarill and Great Tusk reminded us of their power, as our dynamic duo easily handled Rika's team of ground types. We then gave Azumarill a break as Ampharos and Houndoom chipped in to help Great Tusk defeat the Steel-type specialist Poppy. The next member of the Elite Four is our old friend Larry, and while he didn't give us too much trouble back in the Medali gym, he clearly brings something a little extra for his Elite Four battles. That little something extra being an entirely new team of flying types. His Tropius tanked a Giga Impact from Great Tusk before firing back with a powerful Solar Beam that brought Great Tusk within a gasp of fainting. Tusk then went on to pick up the knockout, but Larry had sent a message. We were lining up a shot at the king, and we'd best not miss. Speaking of not missing, Tyranitar won his rematch against the Raptor with a Stone Edge. Then Ampharos Dazzling Gleamed Altaria and Power Gemmed Oricorio to bring Larry down to his last Pokemon, Flamigo. Scizor then entered the fray and braved some hits from the Paldean bird to weaken it enough for a Great Tusk to come back in and pick up the knockout. With 3 of the Elite Four behind us, we looked ahead to our 4th battle and came up with a strategy to beat the wannabe Lance. Teach Great Tusk Ice Spinner. With Great Tusk's combination of bulk, speed, and power, our plan was foolproof.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
We were now cleanly down 1 Pokemon, but Ampharos tagged in and immediately evened the score. Tyranitar then checked in and took out Dragalge before missing back-to-back Stone Edges and falling against Haxorus. However, the Sandstorm Tyranitar whipped up did enough chip damage to buy Scizor 1 turn to Swords Dance, and that's all she needed as she proceeded to punch out Haxorus and cut down Flapple before getting a parting shot in on Baxcalibur. Azumarill then came out, and while we may have gone a little overboard to pick up the last KO, you've got to remember, it's not about winning, it's about sending a message. We had beaten the Elite Four without any real hiccups, and now there was only one obstacle between us and our champion title. La Primera, the top champion, Chairwoman Gita. Surprisingly, we were able to hold back in this battle, as Azumarill got to sit back and watch his teammates put on a show. Houndoom led off and braved some Dazzling Gleams to take down Espathra. Tyranitar then checked in, missed a Stone Edge, and was immediately flattened by Avalugg. Scizor then Swords Danced her way to a Bullet Punch knockout before Great Tusk tagged in and suplexed Kingambit straight back into its Pokeball. Houndoom came back in against Go-Go, but simply didn't have enough left in the tank to take it down, leaving Scizor to clean up and secure a second knockout. Ampharos then got her revenge and defeated Veluza, bringing Gita down to her ace, Glamora. Great Tusk put up a good fight, but its poor special defense meant it couldn't weather the onslaught of Dazzling Gleam sent its way. Glamora's toxic debris could have proved dangerous, but Scizor's steel typing made her immune to the hazards, and she picked up her 3rd knockout in an MVP performance. All of the hard work pulling together our team paid off, and we earned ourselves the title of Paldean Champion. However, just like back in Johto, the title of champion wasn't enough. We needed to know for a fact that we were the strongest trainer in our region. Luckily, we didn't have to look far for our opponent, and with all of Mesa Goza watching, Nemona and I set out to settle the debate once and for all. We started off strong, with Azumarill and Great Tusk picking off half of Nemona's team, but we've seen Nemona turn a battle on its head before. And in this case, it was a timely crit from her to Dunsparce that catches Great Tusk off guard and puts everyone watching on notice. We had a battle on our hands. Tyranitar then cleaned up on the Dunsparce before falling to Earthworm, and having lost 2 team members and knowing her potent Meowscarada lay in wait, we knew we had to make a big play. So we decided to surprise Nemona with a familiar face. The Houndoom she saw us being saved from all those weeks ago. Now fully grown and with a glimmering candelabra adorning her head, Houndoom calmly melted down Earthworm, and Meowscarada had no choice but to surrender in the face of her fiery wrath. We were now undisputedly the strongest trainer in Paldea. But unlike Red, Nemona wouldn't simply disappear. If we wanted to continue being the champion of champions, we'd need to get even stronger. And what better place to add one last powerhouse to the team than the infamously perilous Area Zero. With Arvin, Nimona, and the student formerly known as Cassiopeia on board, we made our way down into Area Zero, where Professor Sada tasked us with opening research stations and laboratories that she'd been locked out of. As we ventured further into Area Zero, we came across more Pokemon similar to Great Tusk, and remembered a magazine in the school library describing a powerful form of Misdreavus rumored to live down here. We took the expedition on a slight detour and caught the newest member of our team, Fluttermane. Once at the main lab in the depths of the crater, we learned that Professor Sada's research would have devastating ecological impacts on Paldea. Seeing as we were the newly minted strongest trainer in the region, it fell on our shoulders to stop it. After defeating her team of powerful ancient Pokemon, and even her own Koraidon, Professor Sada ran away to the past, and the natural beauty of the Paldea region was saved. With Ethan's independent study project in Paldea over, there was just one question left to ask. Did Johto earn my respect? Well, if we look at all of the Pokemon featured in this run, then take away the ones who didn't make a big impact, wouldn't have had a big impact if not for a Paldean form, and can't always be found in Johto, we're left with Azumarill, Ampharos, maybe Donphan, and Scizor. Now, I do love all of these Pokemon, but let's be real, Johto is still Kanto's little brother, Lieutenant Surge is your electric-type specialist, and I'm dying on this hill. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you for watching, and until next time.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.